Good evening, guys. Welcome to another stream on Buckman's Model Mania. Tonight we're going to be doing a little bit on the Enterprise. Give me a second. I just closed the window and I'm there. Needed to get my YouTube video or window back up. Hey, Donnie. Hey, Mark. Hey, Eric. So actually, you three are part of the core group that I wanted to see if we could drag into this. So Eric's Queen Mary 2 set sail to him this week. Should be there by Friday. Mine should be here by Thursday. So sometime around January-ish, if it takes that long, when Eric's back up and able to model, I want to do a Queen Mary group build. Or not group build, but a buddy build. Of course it's a goofy shirt, Eric! Just like this guy that photobombed when I sent sent you a picture of the package. Actually, Eric, I did. I thought about it. But yeah, if you guys are interested, we're going to be doing a 1/400 scale Queen Mary buddy build around January time frame. So just thought I'd throw that out there, give you enough time to get the really expensive kit. But so yeah. Been a busy week here. Took Monday off so that we could finally, after having it about 9 months, have the hot tub hooked up. Did that. Figured out that there's no wood directly underneath the roof on the patio. I had to find a very narrow strip to hang the second sunscreen, which is also peeping eyes screen, so that we can have privacy in the hot tub. Actually, Eric did ask that question if Goofy was coming too, and I'm like, no, that Goofy's a little expensive. But probably the next time I send something Eric's way, it'll probably have a Goofy in there somewhere. An indelible one that he can't get rid of. But yeah, so we got the hot tub set up. I'm got busy for some of you guys too. Eric went and got his procedure and glad that he's home. Hope his back is feeling better. And hopefully they'll get you scheduled pretty quick and get you through this, and everything will come out in the end, because my wife has had the same type of surgery and I know what you're headed into. I feel for you, man. I wish I could help you. I wish I could be up there and help you with it. So, enough of that type of stuff. Let's go ahead and flip over to the droid cam. And so far tonight, it's behaving. There's no strobing. So here's what came in. I've got issue 3. No, Mark, the QM is the Queen Mary 2. If you look on Amazon and look up Queen Mary 2, it's a 1/400 scale. It's a cruise ship. Akin to the Titanic, it's just a lot bigger than the Titanic was. I've actually, sometime I'll post on Discord once I get mine back. I've got a 350 scale Titanic, which is close to the 400, so I can, I'll actually put that on as well. Just looking. Okay, I looked at my YouTube feed and my hands didn't move on that. But it's a really nice ship. Sometime I'll put a picture of it up on the on either Discord or HLI community, and I'll put the hull next to the 350 Titanic I already built. It's about 1.5 times. Oh, the Queen Mary, gotta be a beautiful ship. But it's about 1.5 times the size of the Titanic, and it is a cruiser. It's a cruise ship, not a cruiser like, the Ida Blue is a cruiser which stays in coastal areas. It doesn't go out to sea. The Queen Mary is a true cruise ship because it crosses fully across the ocean. So, just a thought. I mean, we all, pardon my hand there while I adjust this, we all kind of enjoy building together. No, Mark, the one you're thinking in California, that's the Queen Mary. This is the Queen Mary 2, which is, she's huge. She's still running back and forth between England and the East Coast. So, back to this. Got in issue 3, and I've got issue 4 on the way. It's been charged. It says it's shipped, so not sure how soon it's going to get here. It's taking about a week for them, once they say they shipped, for them to show up. So I may have another Star Trek by next week. So last week I talked about how I'd already done this, and Mark, you'd already done the Solar Res on here. I did mine yesterday. I think it came out pretty good. And if you look, I've actually gotten these to line up a little bit better than they were last week. Looking at this is going to sit on top of the frame, so the frame, when it gets when the frame gets on it, it'll pull everything together. And welcome, Kenny. So just to give you guys, let you guys see, let me bring up this so I can zoom. I hear my neighbors back there in the background. And as I discovered last week, all of these plugs are basically the same plug, so I'm just going to plug it in. Or they should be the same plug. It worked earlier. I wonder if my jury rig on this has failed me. Okay, I guess I won't be. Oh, you know what? No, that's the right wires. Let me just check and see if any of the lights are working, or is it my batteries? Hey Spence, welcome to the stream. Currently none of my lights are working, so I'm guessing something has happened to this thing and my battery's probably completely dead. So, might try and fix that later. But yeah, this is now. I put Solar Res in here. The clear, the part with the light over. Sorry, the vent with the light here. I've taken the light out, painted that just like Mark did on his. So it's looking like it probably is going to stay. I like your idea, Mark. I might see about getting one of Kenny's flasher boards and sticking a flasher back here. Yeah, DED dead. But just in case, I have batteries here. I wonder. And of course, I put multimeter away today, so it's across the room. And honest, guys, I did plug this up today, and it did work. So let's see. See if I can touch that. have a feeling that thing may have slipped and I've got all dead batteries in it. Yeah, I think there'll probably be a few places where there are flashing lights. What I am probably going to do, just because I have the equipment, I'm probably going to stop messing with this little box here and just set my power supply for 4.5 volts. Although every one of the batteries was checking good. So maybe my little board is fried. Let me see. Give me just 1 second, guys. I just want to see. Yeah, that one's good. That one's good. That one's good. I think my test board might be fried, which, if it is, no big deal, because Eaglemoss and all the part work companies are pretty good about taking care of stuff like that. I'm not going to hook it up to my power supply yet. I don't want to fry it. Let's see. I believe there's I think you're right, Spence. There's like about 4 flashers on the Enterprise D. Okay, so let me put this aside. Oh, and along with the parts, this humongous screw box came with this. A little bit larger than those. But I took my label maker and made labels for which screws are which. So I'm going to use it. They provided it. Eventually, depending on how things go, these spots may also end up with parts in them. Like, matter of fact, from the first part of the build, they provided that and the buzzard collector, but nowhere to put it. It's not attached, so I'm going to keep mine in here. So put that up there, and of course it's not blocking any glare at all. Matter of fact, it's helping it. So let me put it out off the screen. So we got parts, the stage 7 parts. We got part of the neck. This, from what I've seen on other people's builds, looks like it might be a switch, but nothing electrical has been hooked to it yet. Another part of the frame for part 9. Seven, 8, 9. Interesting. Very interesting. Usually they show you all the parts, but it goes from parts. It goes from stage 7, stage 8, stage 9, but it doesn't show stage 10. Let me just look. Yeah, stage 10's here. They just don't provide you this is what's in stage 10 page. Okay, so here's stage 7. No, this is stage 8, sorry. This is stage 7. Let me go ahead and cut this open. Like I said, first part in here is the back of the neck. And you can see it's got some of the Aztecing on it as well. It's a plastic part. I'm pretty sure that all of the outer hull will be plastic, simply because, well, actually the bridge is metal. But they're going to have to start saving some weight somewhere. A couple of pieces that are going to mount onto the frame part from last time. Some screws. There's two springs in there. There's a couple of springs in here, and then the back. I believe it's supposed to be a phaser emitter, but it looks like a button. So let me put the screws away. Not sure how long I'm going to use that screw box because it is huge, and I like to have my screws right up in front of me. And the AP screws. Now look through, AP and BM are going to be the main screws used tonight because there's a lot of them. And you know, I forgot one thing. I was about to flip this over, and I understand I'm on a glass table. I'm very unlikely to scratch anything, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So let me flip this over, turn around like that. So the first piece that goes in here is the button, phaser emitter, whatever you want to call it. It's a phaser bank. It pushes down in there. There's two, so you see those two pins there? Those pins have are where these two springs sit on. Hey, Kelly. I don't know, should I do it, guys? Should I? I'm going to. Hey, Kelly, what's for dinner? Alright, so those springs sit on there like that. You can barely see them. Sit on there like that. And then this part here will go over top. And you can, not sure if you're going to, okay, you can see it. I get it angled again, right? You can see there the L, so it's for the left hand side of the ship, and this tab here that bumps up goes towards the back of the ship. Oh, that's funny. That's so funny. She was gonna talk. She was gonna tell me I'm gonna kill you for asking you that question's like forever old, and then she realized I'm that I couldn't hear her. I love it. We only do it because we love you, Kelly. Those, actually, you know what? Just looking at it, that doesn't make any sense. You're right, Mark, because those pins that fit into the holes on the retaining piece aren't long enough to reach anything, I don't think. Come on, get in there. I appreciate that, Kelly. Come on, get in there. So get this first screw in here. This is one of those times when a magnetic screwdriver may not be the best thing because it's not staying on the end of the screwdriver, but it's also not going into the hole. Get this back on here where it belongs. That one started. Get this other one started before I go any. Yeah, but you know, I'm one of the people who's kept that going too. Come on. So once these are tightened down, that one may have stripped out. If it did, I'll have to super glue it. That one's down tight. That one feels tight. Absolutely. Absolutely, shoe. So looking at this, I don't know if this can be a switch or not. Let's see if because I don't know if I can get it up to where you guys can see it, but the pins do protrude a little bit, but not more than just like 2 millimeters once it's pushed down. And that is fully seated. So we'll have to see. Not sure why it is spring loaded like that. Yeah, I think he called you a smartass there, Donnie. Okay, so let me set that aside because I think I used it again in step 8 from the framework from last time, and so there's 2 more of these. 2 more of the bracing frames. What do they call it? They call them skeletal supports. And again, just like last week, they're going to fit in there. Just fit them. Okay, so this one's going to fit in the same spot as the shorter one last week. This one goes further down, further towards the center, and just because. Interesting, it goes further towards the center, but it's the same height as the taller one from last week. And it sits on an elevated part here. Okay, you know, never mind. That's why it's the same size. It's an elevated part. A smart move on their design, because what they did is these are the same size. I'm sure that most of them, the braces are going to be the same size. And they just do the additional pieces here on the rib, or the additional height. So let me grab some screws. Put this one down first. Matter of fact, I should be able to just screw it in like that after I set it on top of the frame on top of it. Oops, missed completely. And again, I'm being risky because I've read that people are breaking screws on these things. Oh, bless me. It's not COVID, folks, it's allergies. Pollen season is in high season here. tighten this down. And like I was saying, been reading comments online on the Facebook group that people are snapping these screws off in here. And I did actually see that there is a suggestion that you lubricate them with oil. I have not planning on going out and getting 3-in-1 oil just for this model. Let's see if I can get that tight, a little tighter. Thank you, Kenny. It is still a little bit loose, so I'm going to back this screw out. Threads look good. Plug it back in. And hopefully it'll seat all the way. Because unlike this one here, this is not getting completely firm. Still not. It's closer. Okay, this one's tight. I'm holding it really well. There, much better. It was flapping all over the place. And if I have ones that I think I'm in danger of breaking a screw, I'm not going to tighten them down like that, because the key thing about these with where they're, how close or how they're going to get sandwiched in there, once it's in there, it's going to be firm. Nothing's going to make it shake loose once the top of the saucer, or if this is the top, if the bottom of the saucer. And I actually think this might be the top, because I want to say by at the end of stage 4, you're actually attaching the bridge to it. Hang on a second, guys. And of course, when you sneeze, your nose runs a little bit. So let me do the same thing on this one. And hopefully this one won't stay. Hopefully this one won't give me the problem that the other one did. I might eventually pick up some 3-in-1 oil. Oh, for those of you guys that are not part of HLI, first off, shame on you. You should stop by, join. Great group of guys over at hobbylinkinternational.com, or hobbylinkinternational.com will get you there, but I think it's community.hobbylinkinternational. Regardless, I believe it should be in the description of this video, and if it's not, it will be right after I finish the live stream. Now I forget what I was. Oh, for those of you who are not a member of HobbyLink International and thereby on our Discord, once I get the last of the Terminator packs in, so it should be June, July time frame, I'll be starting the Agora Models Bismarck as well. So I will have content on this channel for just about forever, simply on these things here, because my I've got so many of them going, plus this is a lot more entertaining to watch, I think, than just a regular plastic model. Although in my own opinion, I've got some pretty nice ones in work. So this completes stage 7. You got the neck of the nacelle, and then you got the first part of the framework with supports, the first 4 support ports. I see that there should be, no, actually, just looking, This is very likely all the supports that are going to be on this section, because the rest of these screws are going to be where you attach hull. So in stage 8, which is the one that I tried to start with, got another hull section and the other phaser emitter for the back of the neck. Got some AP screws, another framework section, phaser emitter, some BM screws, and the springs. First things first, actually I'm just going to cut these loose. I'm going to need 4 of them. I'm just going to put the BM screws over here, take the one spare, put it in the box. I need 2 of the AP screws. There's 1 spare. Put those right here because those are the first ones I'm going to be using. Put the spare in the box and cut the springs loose. So it's the exact same thing as on the other side, but I'm going to see if, without putting the springs in first, I'm going to try something here. I want to see if you can see. So you see how that pin sticks out? That's all the further that pin sticks out on the other one. So I'm wondering if that's actually going to be able to do anything. I don't think it's going to be long enough to actually actuate a switch. Hang on. The great thing about live streams, if I drop something, you guys get to hear me rummage around on the floor looking for it. Fortunately, I have a tile floor. So and even more fortunately, things do not yet, knock on wood, do not shoot all over the place. I've lost micro, not really micro, but really small magnets, and I thought they were gone forever. It took me roughly 30 seconds to find them. So that, okay, those are on there. Or they were on there. Let me take a look. Just checking the stream health. It appears to be good. And again, I'm not going to show it this time because I showed it last time. It's, hopefully you believe me. There is an R on this, on the back of this switch. Looking at this. Okay, yeah. I'm just double checking the orientation of the part that I'm putting on right now to make sure that I'm not putting it on backwards. You know, Troy, you're brilliant. You're probably right. Probably going to be something that mounts really flush to that will allow that really small amount of protrusion to separate the saucer. That's actually, I'm looking forward to seeing how they do that too, because the My understanding is there's supposed to be a power supply in the saucer as well as in the main hull, the engineering hull, so that with the with the saucer separated, it will still be lit up. That's got that in there. So there's the phaser emitters. Both of them tightened down. It's going to be interesting to see what that actually does. So let me flip or get this part out. And if you see, okay, yeah, this is part of the upper skeleton, and it is right here. It's the upper left of the saucer. And looking at this, okay, I'm trying to put it on the wrong side. And I'm about to put it on upside down because these half circles on each side have to line up. It's not, makes it an oval, not a circle, but those line up like that. Make sure, yeah, that's just making sure everything is lining up correctly. This one I should hopefully not be too big of a problem. Hopefully it'll tighten up better than the other one did. And I'm actually going to put the screws in a little bit on all 4 lugs before I tighten it down, just so that I don't have anything binding when I'm actually putting it the rest of the way together. There's the 4th one going in. And let me tighten these down completely. Let me back that off just a hair because I felt it. As I was tightening it, I felt this one raising up. I don't want to have them not matching up when the time comes. So let me tighten the inner ones first to make sure that my joint stays flat. Tighten the last 2 up. Based on where this goes, actually, so this should be the center front. Let's just take a look. Let me make sure I hit all the lugs right. And these lugs are actually going to be pulled down pretty good, but when it comes time to attach it, that's what it's going to look like. It's not bad. And like I said, I believe that is actually in, let me just go ahead and set that here. Believe that gets attached, the bridge section gets attached in issue 4, which is the one that should be coming hopefully by next week. So assembly stage 9, got another section of hull frame, got some lights that I probably can't test right now, and windows, many little windows. Many little windows that go in the back of the back in the neck here. And in case anybody's curious, no, I did not fix what I saw on the windows from last week. I still need to do that. And with my power supply not working right now, that's going to be kind of difficult. I've thought about it, and what I'm probably going to do is I'm actually going to take all the windows back out and just put a drop of, do a little bit of touch-up work on with the a file and get them to where they're fully seated in there. Yeah, Mark, it should not be any problem to get to the bridge even with the frame is on, once the frame is on, because if you look, I don't think there's framework beyond here, and that flasher that we're thinking about putting in is going to actually go in right about here. Come up here. When I did my bridge, it's a test power supply. It's not the actual power supply, Eric. What I'll do is, if I can't get it to work, I'll just email or call Eaglemoss. They should send me, well, they won't send me the power supply. They won't send me this little test power supply. What they'll do is they'll send me the kit the stage that came with. That's how they do it, is they just send you the entire part. The only problem is, it could take weeks for them to send that to me. So, I want to figure out how to fix it. So, like I was saying, Mark, we should be able to get in here really easy. And the only reason I haven't done it yet is because I hesitate to drill through this clear part. And if not, it literally was 2 screws to take this out to do my bridge. So, first thing, almost got lost. You put away my screws. Actually, let me see. BPs I don't need right now, so they'll go in here. I need 4 of the BMs, and there are 5, so I'll leave these 4 over here. Of course, what's going to be funny with that power supply is, as soon as I put it back together, it's going to work. Lost my train of thought there for a second. Couldn't remember which screw I had that I was putting in there. So this section of the hull, or frame, is going to go over here where we still have the last 2 bracings are still sticking out. It's a little bit smaller. I'm not sure. I think the last lug on the bridge will go there. We shall see, because I will test fit it once I've got it there. So again, I'm going to start all 4 screws first, and then I'm going to do the inside ones just to keep a flat surface. So I would hate to have to take things way back apart to get this to line up flat. The Millennium Falcon, when I did it, it was the same thing. You had a lot of sections that you had to make sure were flat compared to each other. This actually is starting to get a little bit of heft to it. I would say this, as it stands right here, this is probably a pound, pound and a half, which doesn't sound like a lot, and it's not. It's just that the awkward shape it is. This is going to rapidly outgrow the storage box I had for it, so it's going to end up sitting in the display room, which is where I've actually moved all the models in work over there. I don't think I mentioned it tonight. I know I've mentioned it on Discord that I took this last Sunday. We didn't do the live stream this Sunday because I was busy doing a lot of cleaning, and to include the shop in here, I had about 30 models in here plus 5 or 6 that are in work just all over everywhere, and it didn't let me have to. No, that's not my wife out mowing. That's the neighbors. But it didn't let me concentrate on anything, and so I wasn't getting anywhere on anything. Now that I've got taken a bunch of stuff out of here, I've got this table and the 2 tables on either side of me are completely bare. Well, not completely, but really close to bare, but except for what models I'm currently really deep involved in. So it makes it a little bit easier for me to concentrate on a model. Like I thought, this outer piece, this last outer piece here, ties into this point on the opposite side. So she's starting to take shape. She's gonna be huge. I want to say by the time, it won't be long before I'm not using this camera and I'm using the one that's over my left shoulder. Let me set that up there. That. So next thing to do, I actually think this is going to be, these windows here are going to be a single piece that you slide in, rather than these ones that you cut off a sprue and plug in, I hope. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, and there's going to be one spare on here. And on these clear ones, yeah, they do. So these are not the same ones like I did last week. Last week they were pretty much interchangeable. You could put them wherever. These ones have a left and a right to them, which means they're probably going to have a top and a bottom. So it's going to, these should probably fit a little bit better than the ones did last week, and hopefully I won't bump something and have them all fly like they did last week. Oh, cool. Are you building the Enterprise, Troy? Or have you just been watching videos? Hoping. Yeah. Okay, I'm about to start doing these wrong. So the L should be facing towards me. Might have to resort to cheaters. Not bad. That's a little bit better fit than they were last week. Ah. Well, and I've told Donnie the same thing. If you start running into delays with Eaglemoss, which is actually, I hate to say it, but I'm going to be dead honest, and it's not if, when you start running into delays with Eaglemoss, if you want to keep the kits coming quickly, I just put that one in. upside down. If you want to keep the kids coming in quickly, what you do is you call them up, and you just need to make sure that you've got the finances for it. I happen to have a couple builds, or a couple of them. I've got all the packs, so I've now got available funds. But what you do is you call them up and you ask them to set up your deliveries for more often. That's interesting. This one fit. He did the this part, Mark, because I'm well behind on videos as well. But what I was saying is, if you're building anything from Eaglemoss, call them and you want them to ship faster. They don't do more than one pack at a time, or you can get up to, I want to say, 4 packs a week. And so what I've done is I've told them to go ahead and start shipping me 1 pack a week. That way, I was actually behind because there was a called the PayPal changed my credit card, and when they changed my credit card, what they did was they added a chip, or not a chip, but one of the Wi-Fi chips, so that I can just swipe it next to something and it'll charge. When they did that, RFID, that's what it is. When they did that, they changed my expiration by 1 month. And the first time I realized that was when Eaglemoss sent me an email and said, "Yeah, we charged your card, man, and it rejected." Which then ended up putting me, by the time everything was said and done, because I subscribed to this thing a year and a half ago when it first was announced. By the time everything got settled, and it was when I literally called them the next day. It ended up being 3 weeks before I started getting more packs. So I called them up and said, "Send me a pack a week." Did that also with the DeLorean when I finished it up. And when you do that, they'll charge you every week, or they'll charge you and send you a pack every week, roughly. It'll actually take, the process actually is they charge you, and then about a week later they do a preliminary charge, then they actually charge you about a week later, and about a week after that the parts show up at your doorstep. But they flow steadily, and from what I've seen and talking to customer service, if you're, if you've been waiting for pack 4 for 6 months, and I just started the build, and I'm on once a week, and they get to me first, you don't get it, and I end up getting pack 4 before you because of the way they ship. They don't earmark issues when they come in for particular people. It's just whenever the warehouse pulls the stuff and ships it to you. So I don't know if it's alphabetical or random sequence or how they do it, but if it's alphabetical, me having the last name starting with a B, I win quite regularly. But that wasn't the case on the DeLorean. The DeLorean, I was waiting for 1 pack for 6 months. But that same pack, it was pack 76, I was actually, I was not near as bad off as some people, because there were a lot of people that waited almost a year for that pack. And so if I can afford it, whenever I'm doing something from from Eaglemoss from now on, I will set them up to ship once a week. And you know, it's one of these things. It's going to be a balancing act, because if I get to where I can't afford it, I don't have that left on my PayPal, then I will slow it down. But right now, I'm able to do it. I've done it with the Ecto 1 as well. Pack 4, which is in the mail to me now from the Enterprise, is the current month. So with Pack 4, when it shows up, I may end up being having to wait a month from now on, you know, between packs, but I will always get one when there's in stock. And to answer your question, Eric, unfortunately, Eaglemoss does not sell their kits all at once. You will do some sort of a monthly thing. D'Agostini sells theirs, and quite regularly when they have a full kit, their full kits, what they'll do is they'll have a sale on them, and a kit that costs $1,200, or not $1,200, kit that costs $1,500 to $1,600, they'll sell. I've seen them as low as, I want to say I've seen one for $900. So they do some pretty awesome sales through D'Agostini. And then there's what is it? Agora Models. I like Agora Models' promise. Basically, they have their promise to the consumer is that if you start a model, they will ship you on time every monthly installment. Okay, so the windows are all in. Got another one of these silver pieces. It's got an L on it right here. Silver or clear painted silver pieces. The red and blue wire goes down, or they show it here. I don't think there's really any problem with it going opposite directions. And then the black and yellow go on the other side. It feels like it might hold, but it might not. It might just fall out. Yeah, it's gonna fall out. So, where is it? I know I've got a bottle of it here. There it is. I used super glue last week, and somebody said, "Why not Elmer's?" I'm impatient. I'm not willing to wait for the glue to get to the top of the jar. Just a dot there, a dot there. And what I'm also trying to do as much as possible is when I do these, I put, you know, like this one is the black and the yellow, and it shows in the picture the black or the yellow on the left-hand side. And so I try to line that up as well. No reason, just it's my personal bent on how to do this. Almost might work as well as spit and gum, yeah. Elmer's may not be used again because Elmer's is not holding very well. And I just need it to hold long enough for me to get it into that. Yeah, it was holding. Some of these are popping loose. Let's see. This one is the one that absolutely needs to be in there. And of course it's a very sharp bend right here at the LED. Wonderful. Man, that is an ugly bend on that LED there. See if I can get that chunk of dried glue out of there. And let me see if I can get this one to slide in there where it belongs. Okay, that should be good. Now the fun part. I need to get 4 BP screws while not letting this get away. There's 3 and 4. This is what's going to irritate me if I can't get that little test power supply to work. Wow, I did not like the sound of that. I don't see anything cracked or broken, but I did not like that sound. Okay. Now I can glue it the rest, or glue it, put the other 2 screws in. I tightened those screws down completely just to make sure that they stayed in place. So that the lights and the windows all stayed in place. Yes, she does. She needs more windows on the other side. I'm guessing, yep, stage done. First things first, I'm going to see if I can get this thing to work. See if I can get it put back together. Because I would really, really like to be able to test those lights. Let's see, first, let me make sure not to have this thing slip off again like it did last week. This is a really hokey power box. Well, there's your problem. No more fried batteries, but there's your problem. That would be a problem right there. So, rather than dealing with this anymore, no more fried batteries, I have a power supply. Let me go get the wire strips. There they are. Yes, I'll send it to Eric. Now these, I love these wire strippers. They strip any gauge wire and they will strip a couple of wires at the same time. But the only problem with sending it to Eric is after he solders it, he then sets it on fire. Or blows it up or something. So, power supply on, 4.5 volts, dead on, but just in case. Let's crank that sucker down all the way, because I would rather sneak up on it. Okay, know it doesn't say to do this yet. I don't care. So, if you can see, you shade it there. It works. And so the problem was before this hokey little box. Fire good, yes. So while I'm here with the power supply on, let me pop this on here. So now you can see what my bridge looks like. The only thing is, it is right now it is completely clear. I'm gonna have to, maybe not. I might do something to dull it down a little bit, but I think it looks okay right now. So let me pull these back off. Those are some really small resistors. Similar to ones that are going to be going on to the board from Kenny. Everybody should check out Kenny's live stream yesterday. Yes, little tiny resistors, Eric. Anywhere, and Eric, just so you know, anywhere you see on a board where it says R something, that's a resistor. And Eric and I had a conversation a little bit, actually just a couple of texts back and forth on Discord the other day about resistors. And when it comes to the Queen Mary 2, when we build it, do the buddy build, resistors are futile because we're going to be using LED strip. All right, cut the last of these parts out. More windows, and this time I'll show you. I didn't show it on the other ones. I don't think I showed it that there's an L and an R on the windows. .603 resistors. Not sure what 603 resistors are, Spanx. So yeah, let me see. Hey, you can see the R's on there, which tells you that these belong left and right. What I'm going to do, and this is part of the reason I like that big box, screw box, is I'm going to cut the sprue. This is not your normal glass. You know how your normal glass is really brittle? This feels like it's a combination of styrene and okay, I see what you're talking about, the micro resistors or SMD resistors. So I was saying this feels like it's a combination of styrene and clear plastic because it's a little bit more malleable. Uh-oh. Hang on, guys, to the Discord real quick, because yes. Shu just posted a picture of the Queen Mary 2 on Discord. Yes, Shu, that's the one. So yeah, a little bit different clear. And what I do with these, you know, we all have our sprue boxes. With these kits like this, I keep spare parts until the end because you never know when you're going to need something. And I keep them, a lot of them, forever because you never know when you're going to build something that you can use those parts for. So, two more of the braces. This one's caught really well underneath that lip. Two more of these braces. The other side, clear part with silver paint. The lights for the other side of the neck. More windows and BM and BP screws. BM screws. Sorry, I thought I heard a dog in here, which would not be a big deal. So, 4 BM screws are what I'm going to be using first, so I'm going to set them down here. Who's a hoarder? Me? I bought this stuff years ago. Oh, you mean keeping the extra pieces? Of course. You never know. You never know when that specific piece of plastic might look like something that needs to be part of a diorama for something to be blowed up. Seem to remember somebody put a piece of clear styrene on the bottom of his helicopter in his Vietnam War diorama. And I'm sure that piece of clear styrene did not come with that kit. I'm going to put this over here, out of harm's way. Flip this over.
So you see, you have to pee right there.
Apparently the dogs are doing stuff where they are not supposed to be. This one is going to go here. I was trying to put it up here instead. These are going to match. These braces are going to match exactly where the other ones from the other side do. The large one in the back on this row, smaller one in the front here. So see if I can get this in. I'm probably going to stop using their screwdriver on my next Enterprise build because their screwdriver, the magnet, is not quite as good as the one on mine.
Oh, that's Gianni.
Tell her, well, if she's near, let her know. I will let her know. Kelly, it is not an insult at all. Top is a term of endearment. A little bit of term of endearment, a little bit of, that's the way the position of first sergeant is called in the Army. Kenny knows I'm an Air Force first sergeant, and I've been around people from all grades, and so top is not an insult at all. Yes, first shirt. Top is, as a retired shirt, when somebody calls me shirt, top, something like that, I take it as a, not as an insult, I take it as a compliment because it tells me that some of the qualities that I had as a shirt are still there. Most important ones to me were taking care of my people. So I got those first two in there.
Oh man.
And get these last two in here while we're talking about first shirt.
That's crazy.
Wow. Hang on. I think that something's going wrong there. Try flipping it around. So I know there are several former military. Thank you. I am actually pretty comfortable with this. What's funny is I used to be one of those people that was scared to death of talking in public. And so I became a first shirt. Go figure. Where part of my job is talking in public. And I'm very comfortable with doing this because I'm comfortable with me. I enjoy what I'm doing. And so, you know, I started doing this actually because I watched Kenny, I watched Eric, I watched a lot of people, and I was like, you know, I like listening and watching people with their builds, and I think I'm at least decent with my building. So I decided to do the same thing Kenny does, which is give back to the community the best way I can. You know, I don't have a business that I can run, but I sure can give my knowledge away, and I give it away as, you know, anybody asks me anything, if I know the answer, I'm an open book. So there's these 4 screws. This is on here solid. I'm not going to set it back on here, but now this is definitely too big. I'm not going to set the bridge back on here. Maybe one last time tonight. But this is now definitely too big to fit down or fit into the storage box I have for it. So what I was gonna throw out there, and I'm sure somebody in the audience, because I know a lot of us have been our prior military, knows the answer. Does anybody know why the first sergeant is known as the first shirt? There are several things, several myths out there. The one that I like is the one from the Civil War. And on this side, I need 7 of each of these again. The one from the Civil War, basically it boiled down to when the supply wagon would come in with new uniforms. The first sergeant, being that he was was the top enlisted the first sergeant was the top enlisted or one of the top enlisted, because, like, you know, Kenny just said first sergeant is top because he's highest ranking NCO in the company. Air Force, you're not necessarily, as a E0 or as an E7, you're not necessarily the highest ranking senior NCO, because we had senior master sergeants and chiefs. I was a master sergeant. But the way that first sergeant became first shirt, so the myth I like is from the Civil War, and it was when the supply wagon would come in with new uniforms. The first sergeant would meet it, greet it, and, you know, they'd take inventory, and then he got the first choice of a new shirt. Hence, he became the first shirt. Now, like I said, I called it a myth because I have no proof, but that's what I've read. You know, I like the way it sounds. It's kind of cool. It's probably wrong, but who knows? And the you know, more military traditions. And see, we started doing this thing in the Air Force because so many people, well, in the Air Force, your professional military education is very lacking for NCOs. An officer in a 20-year career can expect to get probably close to 3 to 5 years of PME, professional military education. The same enlisted member, the same person being enlisted can expect to get maybe 9 months of professional military education. And so we started doing additional PME for people as they got to bases, as they reached certain ranks. Just the NCOs and senior NCOs of bases started doing that. And so as a shirt, I would go and speak at these things, and I like to find something that most people aren't going to be looking for. There's all the military bearing and how you work on the airplanes and this, that, and the other thing. Well, my favorite part of being a first shirt was the cheerleader aspect for my people. And so what I researched one time was challenge coins. And again, it's another myth. It's another myth and we're not playing golf. I don't golf at all. I golf on the computer. But another myth that I've found, and I love this one for challenge coins, is where they came from. And it was an officer in, I believe it was World War I, whose father, his mother, I don't know, his family owned this brass foundry, and so he made these medallions, or had made these medallions. I think I'm putting those in upside down. I am. Had made medallions for his unit, and those medallions, he handed out to everybody, and it was one of these things. It's like they are today. Well, no, it crossing my train here. It wasn't like it is today, where if you coin check somebody and they don't have their coin, they owe everybody around. Well, that didn't exist back then. And what happened was this officer got caught behind enemy lines. I think he was a flyer, and he got shot down. And so he was behind enemy lines, and a lot of times when they go up, they would not have any identifying stuff with them. So when he made it back through enemy lines, he had nothing to identify. I'm screwing this whole story up, I just realized. That's true. All the Air Force bases have golf courses. So actually, he got shot down. He did get caught, and when he got caught, they went through all of his stuff, and they take all your identifying stuff as a prisoner of war. And he had this coin. He had the medallion that he said was religious significance, and so they let him keep it. Well, he managed to escape, and when he escaped, the only thing he had with him, other than clothes on his back, was that medallion. And he went through trenches, ditches, and all that, avoided the enemy, and managed to get back to friendly lines. When he got there, he was in France. And when he got there, they did not know who he was. They were like, you're a spy. They're getting ready to shoot him.
What are you doing?
And he said, and they saw this medallion, and they were like, what is this? And he said, it's a unit identifier for my unit and everything. Everybody has one. Well, it just so happened that somebody from his unit was in the area, and so they went and got the guy from his unit and said, do you know this guy? And he's like, yeah, this is so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. He's part of our unit. And so instead of hanging them or him facing a firing squad, it being in France, they gave him cheese and wine. And so the tradition, again, myth, but I like it, the tradition is that the challenge coin, the reason when you present a challenge coin to your buddies, if they don't have one, they have to buy a drink, is because of this guy. Because when he presented his challenge coin, he got, instead of shot, he got fed and given drinks. And I know there's a much better version of it out online. I'm paraphrasing a lot, may have missed some spots because I'm kind of concentrating on these windows as well. And, these things, a lot of the stuff that I learned in the military was history. I'm a huge history buff. I used to throw out to my airmen history questions. Our promotion fitness examination study guide, now known as the professional development guide, had a chapter on history, and it was, you're old when you show up in the PDG, or not that you show up, but your stuff you've done or you've been part of shows up in the PDG. And it's sad because where we're headed, they've taken a lot of the history that used to be out there. Well, there is that, Mark. But they've taken a lot of the history out of there, and it's really sad that that happens. Because so much of where we are and what our traditions come from is, it's from our history. And I think right now we need to pay attention to more to history than ever before, and I'm going to leave it at that because I'm not going to get involved in any political discussions. Yes.
Can you come 1 second?
I'll be right back, guys.
This doesn't stay on. It doesn't stay on.
What does?
This doesn't stay on here. I tried. But she had the windows open. I'm sorry. I need it. And I tried, but it constantly comes off. I have to find a solution for this. Not to have it on hook all the time, Yeah. Oh, thank you. I can get it. Oh, she hit me there. Thank you.
Yep. I'm back, guys. My wife needed help hooking up a hose. Wow. I did not know you had a master's in history. And I didn't realize that. I knew Kelly was a teacher. I didn't know she was a history teacher. History, and it's one of these things of I've never studied really history. I've just kind of, where'd that one go? There it is. I kind of learned it because I like it. And it was funny when I realized exactly how much history I really understood, or really still knew. Because back when one of my daughters was doing, she was doing school through the internet. And this is about 15 years ago. Good Lord, maybe 18. But she was having problems going through doing her stuff for the on the Civil War, and so I said, she had some questions to answer, and so I said, let me see the book, and I took one look at the page, read a little bit about what it was, and answered all the questions that she had. I mean, and I didn't give her the answers. I made her dig them out. And it blew my mind how much I knew about the Civil War. That sounds really cool, Mark. I like hitting up things like that. It's just like one of the things I have to do, and I'm sure my wife will not go up with me, I want to go up inside of the arch here in St. Louis. Because there, I didn't know until I was coming here that there's actually an elevator inside that thing to let you ride, that you can ride up into it and look out from the top of the arch. So this time, instead of messing with that, where is it, where is it, where is it? First I need a piece of tape. I cleaned up the room. I did not clean up the bench. Everything is just kind of stacked over here. Okay, that little bit of glue, and for anybody who has wow, that is awesome. Anybody who has not seen my method of, well, this one's dead. My method of getting super glue to where I can use it is put down a piece of painter's tape or some sort of tape, whatever I happen to have handy, and put the glue on there so that hopefully glue doesn't dry out in the bottle like that one did. Yeah, we've been here for 2 years and we have not yet gone even to the arch. I'm kind of concerned because I have a fear of heights about going up in the arch, but at the same time, I've been to the top of the stratosphere and rode the big shot twice. Okay. So. There is a little pin in here so that once it's in place. Hey Matt, welcome. That way the pin will keep it, once it's in place it'll keep it from falling out, but right now it doesn't keep the LED from falling back out. And it's not grabbing a hold of that one. Or that one. Yay, team. Let's try a little bit more in there. Yeah, I've seen the videos going up in that little bubble. It seems like, to me, like it would be a little bit freaky being trapped inside that thing. And I know you're not trapped and it's perfectly safe, or should be. This time this is not playing nice. My luck, I'll go up in the arch on the day that they go on strike when I'm halfway up. So hopefully, okay, that's got it. Let me do that on this side. If this doesn't work, I'm going to get some black RTV to glue this one in. Then I'll be like, that didn't work very well. Let go of me. I got glue on the other side too, apparently. It's not staying. Okay, I gotta see if I can get this thing to go down. It's not playing nice. bend that wire. I have to do it the same way I did. Ah, let go. Okay, that one's in. Let's see if I can get this other one in where it belongs.
Murphy, stop. Murphy, stop.
Come on. Okay, that's got it. A little bit of technical difficulty, but never hurts anybody. Okay. Now just hope all the windows stayed in. Okay, that wasn't as pronounced as the pop on the other side, but it was just, it was a window seating itself that cracked from the other side. By the way, Matt, you missed the excitement. I almost blew up 3 more batteries tonight. Then instead, I broke my test power supply. That's better. Those other 2 felt like they stripped out. That's okay. It's still there. It's on the video. What I ended up doing, Matt, was I took the batteries out, checked all the batteries. Batteries were good, and then the red wire ripped off, and so I ripped the black wire off. Okay, so that's got that on there. Oh, it doesn't tell you to test them. See how it is? Oh, it does actually. It says to plug it into the slot A. So yeah, I ended up ripping these wires out, and my power supply is still on 4.4. Crank it back down. But I can, since I know it's putting out 4.5 volts, I can plug these in and start out with it at lowest, you know, basically the power turned off, and slowly crank it up until it comes on.
Okay.
By the way, I don't know if you guys hear my wife working in the background. I don't do that to her. She decided on her own to start working on the patio while I was live streaming. I feel bad. So, slowly raise the voltage. Oh, too much. This power supply might be ready to be replaced because it's not steady. So let me see. Well, you can see those, but not as well as you can. Well, of course, that other light came on, or stayed on. So those lights we did tonight. Let me go ahead and turn off the power supply. Yeah, my power supply right now, guys, is fluctuating because I buy the cheapest one I can get. And before I start blowing LEDs, especially in something like this, I'll replace it. So the other thing you missed, Matt, and I already turned off the power supply, is my Enterprise bridge. So here's what we got done, or I say we you know how it is. Here's what we got done tonight. Fix that during the week. And then pull these out. Got the neck. Good portion of the way done. Put the emitters in on here. Lots of windows. Not near as many as here. These windows are all good, but yeah, it was the section on the hull. I have to go back and look. I have to put the lights on here and take a look and see which ones of these are actually in need of repair, because they were really bad light leaks. So let's just see how much I can figure out where it goes. And this part's easy. And I'm sure the reason that this is metal is because there's going to be no more framework behind it. This should be the front end, pretty close to the front edge. I don't know if it's quite to the front. I don't have the magazine here so I can really figure it out. I'm guessing that this might go. No, that can't go there like that. I don't know. So that's over the last 2 weeks. Tonight was this framework. Showed the bridge, and then worked on the neck. So she's coming along, and as things stand right now, I want to say I saw the email for the where is it? If I remember right, I saw an email saying that pack 4 is on its way. I know it's been charged, so if not next week, the week after, we'll go further on the Enterprise. Like I said earlier, I'm contemplating whether I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow. If I do, I'll do some work on the Ecto 1. It has been a long time since I did anything on it. I have a lot of work that I can do on it now because I've got, well, not a lot yet, because I've got 1 pack, 2 packs on hand, and I think I've got 2 in the mail. Cool. So you're going to catch up, huh, Mark? Yeah, when I get those emails, it's the high point of the day. But no, so I'm going to concentrate on the Ecto and the Enterprise for a while. I need to do some work on the cockpit for the X-Wing. Once I get the light leaks I can fix on it done, then I will start working on the, I'll start working more the Enterprise and the X-Wing, because I want to get the X-Wing done. And I got to work the Terminator in there somewhere, because I've got most of the parts for it. I should have the last packs for it by July. So, a lot coming up. And just because, you know, I say it every week, like and subscribe, or don't. Completely up to you. I hope you enjoy what I do. I know the guys from HLI do. And anybody who is not from HLI, swing on over to HobbyLink International and click over to the community. Great group of guys over there. Great people to ask questions. And it's not, I say guys, and it's not. We have people worldwide. We have people, males and females. the core group that I talk to all the time, you know, and they're here on almost every stream. We go from Bremerton, Washington to I don't know where in West Virginia, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Bismarck, North Dakota, and Kenny Conklin, who runs HLI, is up in Jersey. So we're worldwide. There's a lot of people from Canada. Great place to hang out. Great place to learn any modeling skills. Carmel, Indiana. Okay, Matt. Harlan, New Jersey, but still Jersey. Hey, Kenny, not a problem. You're part of what got me into the streaming. I really appreciated the May the 4th thing yesterday, and looking forward to those chips. So I'm going to call it a night, guys. We're right at an hour 45. I cannot make a stream under an hour and a half to save my life, no matter what I do. So have a great evening. Have a great day tomorrow. Might see you tomorrow night. If not, see you on Sunday. Thanks for stopping by. Talk to you later.